All right, moving on. What do we got next? We have another Degas. Here we go. Portrait de Manet.
Yes, Manet, one of the other major figures. And we were talking about before with the idea of the sort of doodles. You can see he's, you know,
Sure.
there's bits and pieces all over. And he actually met Manet at the Louvre, no less. You know, arguably the greatest art gallery in the world, and two of the greatest artists of, you know, multiple generations
Sure.
show up here. And I believe, if I recall properly, Degas was actually etching out a portrait of his favorite artist, Velázquez, and Manet came up, looked over his shoulder, and told him, "Really? That's what you're doing for all intents and purposes?"
Wow.
I mean,
is this something we see a lot from Degas? Is these portraits of influential figures in his own life? We had his teacher last, and now we have you know, another important artist from the same.
Well,
the same
yes
time.
and no. I mean, he was actually. I mean, the things you'd probably think of most when you think of Degas are the ballerinas.
Yeah.
And that actually his world record price, I believe, around $11 million.
$11 million.
Would be for one of his sculptures of a ballerina in bronze. But he does, I mean, you do get the same sort of things, which is the facial expressions, which are so
Sure.
important. And it's, you know, this true idea of humanity, which had kind of not been so important before the Impressionists. Everything was a bit more idealized, and if you were looking for hints of what was really going on, you wouldn't necessarily find it in their faces. You'd have to look for, you know, strange bits of imagery, maybe a fox that, you know, was meaning that, you know, these people were unfaithful or something like that. It was all symbolism, as opposed to this, which is these people are exactly who they are. This is how they saw themselves, and actually, in Manet's case, he and Degas actually had a gigantic falling out over. Degas, I believe, he sketched Manet actually a number of times, and then did a major portrait of him and his wife. Which Manet quite enjoyed, except for the fact that he thought he'd painted his wife rather ugly.
Oh, really?
So he tore the canvas up, keeping the part that had him and taking off the part that had his wife.
Sure.
Degas saw it, was infuriated, and then almost never spoke again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So quite a piece you can own there today. That's a.
Yeah, a lot, and that's the interesting thing. You have a lot of you have history as well as, you know, excellent draftsmanship.
Sure.
And it's just, you know, a great opportunity.
Absolutely. Another great deal on the Degas there.